Hey Pisces, I need to share something with you that came up in this reading, and honestly, it caught me off guard in the most profound way. You know those nights when you feel this strange pull, like someone somewhere is thinking about you so intensely that it creates this energetic ripple you can almost touch? Well, the cards are showing me something quite specific here, and I think you deserve to know exactly what has been happening in the unseen realm while you have been moving forward with your life. Before I get into the cards, I want you to understand something important. This reading is not about reopening old wounds or making you feel like you need to do anything at all. This is purely about giving you information, about showing you what the spiritual realm is revealing about someone who hurt you, someone who lost you, and who is now experiencing the full weight of that loss in ways they never anticipated. The universe has a very particular way of bringing awareness to people, and what I am seeing here is that this person is going through their own reckoning right now. So I am pulling cards specifically on this question. What is this person thinking and feeling about you, especially during those late night hours when the world is quiet and there is nowhere left to hide from the truth? And I have to tell you, Pisces, what came through is both revealing and, quite honestly, exactly what you might expect when someone realizes they destroyed something irreplaceable. The first card that appeared in this reading is Death. And I know that might sound dramatic, but stay with me because this card is showing me something very specific about transformation and endings. What this card is revealing is that this person has gone through or is currently going through a complete death of their old self, their old perspective, their old way of understanding what you meant to them. You see, when someone loses you, Pisces, they do not just lose a person, they lose an entire version of themselves that existed in relation to you. This death card is showing me that they are experiencing the full destruction of their ego, the part of them that thought they could treat you a certain way and you would always be there, the part that took you for granted, that hurt you, that made choices that pushed you away. That version of them is dying a very painful death right now, and they are acutely aware of it. What I am seeing here is that this is not a gentle transformation. This is the kind of ending that feels like everything they thought they knew about themselves and about love and about you has been completely dismantled. When they think about you now, and trust me, they think about you constantly, they are confronting this massive void where you used to be. The death card shows me that they understand, perhaps for the first time in their life, that some endings are permanent, that some losses cannot be undone. And this realization is tearing them apart because they know deep in their soul that this ending was entirely their fault. They created this death. They killed something beautiful with their actions, their words, their choices, and now they are sitting in the aftermath trying to comprehend how they could have been so blind. What makes this even more intense is that the death card is also about rebirth. But here's the thing, they cannot be reborn into a version of themselves that includes you. That door is closed. So they are stuck in this liminal space, this in-between realm, where the old them is dead, but the new them has to somehow exist without you. And they are discovering that they do not know how to do that. Every night when they invoke your energy, when they think about you, they are essentially mourning their own death, the death of who they could have been if they had not messed this up so catastrophically. The next card that came through is the Fool, and this is fascinating because the Fool typically represents new beginnings, innocence, taking a leap of faith. But in this context, what I am seeing is that this person is looking back at who they were when they were with you, and they are seeing themselves as the fool in the worst possible way. They are recognizing their own naivety, their own stupidity, their own complete lack of awareness about what they had. This card is showing me that they are replaying everything in their mind, every moment, every interaction, and they are seeing themselves through this new lens of painful clarity. They are thinking, how could I have been such a fool? How could I not have seen what was right in front of me? How could I have treated someone as incredible as you with such carelessness? The Fool energy here is tinged with regret and self-recrimination because they are understanding that they walked through life with you like an innocent child, completely unaware of the consequences of their actions, completely blind to the damage they were causing. What the cards are revealing is that at night, when they are alone with their thoughts, they are confronting their own foolishness over and over again. They are seeing every mistake they made with brutal clarity. They are understanding that they took a leap into darkness when they chose to hurt you or let you go, and now they are falling through space with no ground in sight. The Fool represents that free fall, that terrifying realization that they made a choice that cannot be unmade. I am also seeing with this Fool card that they are desperately trying to figure out how to start over, how to become someone worthy of you. But here is the painful truth the cards are showing. You cannot go back to innocence once you have lost it. You cannot unlearn what you now know about yourself. They are trying to convince themselves that maybe, just maybe, if they could get another chance, they could do it right this time. But deep down, they know that the version of the Fool who could have walked into your life with pure intentions is gone. That person died with the death card we just talked about. Moving into the next card, I pulled Strength, and this is where things get really interesting because strength is not just about physical or emotional fortitude. In the traditional tarot imagery, strength shows a figure gently closing the mouth of a lion, representing the ability to tame one's baser instincts through love and patience. And what I am seeing here is that this person is recognizing that you embodied this strength energy, and they completely failed to match it. They are thinking about you and realizing that you showed them a kind of strength they did not have. You had the strength to love them despite their flaws. You had the strength to be patient with them. You had the strength to try to make things work even when they were making it difficult. And they showed weakness. They gave in to their worst impulses. They let their ego, their fear, their immaturity, their whatever it was, control their actions. Instead of approaching the relationship with the kind of courageous vulnerability that you offered them. At night, when they invoke your energy, they are flooded with memories of your strength, and it is making them feel even smaller, even more inadequate. They are comparing themselves to you and finding themselves utterly lacking. The Strength card is showing me that they are aware that you were the strong one all along. You were the one holding things together. You were the one taming the chaos, and they were the lion, wild and uncontrollable and ultimately self-destructive. What really gets to them, what keeps them up at night, is the realization that your strength was never about dominance or control. It was about love. It was about choosing to be gentle when you could have been harsh, choosing to be understanding when you could have been judgmental. And they threw that away. They did not appreciate the incredible gift of being loved by someone with that kind of strength. Now they are trying to find that strength within themselves, trying to tame their own lions, but they are discovering that it is so much harder to do alone, without your example, without your presence, without your energy. The next card that appeared is Six of Pentacles, and this is really hitting on something specific about imbalance and regret. The Six of Pentacles traditionally shows someone giving to those who have less, someone in a position of generosity and abundance sharing their resources. And what the cards are revealing is that this person is acutely aware now of how much you gave to them, how much you poured into the relationship, how generous you were with your time, your energy, your love, your patience, your understanding. They are thinking about you and doing this painful accounting in their mind. They are adding up everything you gave and everything they gave back, and the scales are so devastatingly imbalanced. You were the Six of Pentacles figure, constantly giving, constantly offering, constantly sharing your abundance with them. And they took and took and took without reciprocating, or when they did give, it was conditional, it was partial, it was never matching the level of generosity you showed them. What I am seeing with this card is that every night they are confronted with this crushing guilt about how one-sided things were. They are recognizing patterns they were blind to before. They are seeing how you would show up for them consistently while they would disappear or withdraw. How you would give them the benefit of the doubt while they would judge you harshly. How you would invest in the relationship's future while they would take everything for granted, assuming you would always be there. The Six of Pentacles is also about charity and receiving help, and there is this humbling realization happening for them. They are understanding that you were not just generous with them because you were naive or weak. You gave to them from a place of genuine abundance, from a full cup, and they were in poverty, emotional poverty, spiritual poverty, and you tried to help them without making them feel small about it. And instead of being grateful, instead of learning from your example, they resented it or ignored it or failed to appreciate it. Now they find themselves in a position where they need to give to themselves what you used to give to them. They need to be their own source of emotional support, encouragement, belief, patience. And they are realizing how exhausting it is, how difficult it is, how much energy it requires. And that is making them understand just how much you were caring for both of you. The weight of that realization is crushing them at night when they think about you. Let me pull the next card here. And what came through is the Lovers. Now this is significant because the Lovers card is about choice, about conscious decision-making, about standing at a crossroads and choosing love or choosing something else. And what I am seeing is that this person is replaying the moment or moments when they had a choice. They could have chosen you, chosen the relationship, chosen love, chosen to work through whatever issues came up, but they chose something else. Maybe they chose their pride, their fear, their comfort zone, someone else, their own selfish desires, whatever it was. The Lovers card is showing me that they are haunted by this choice now. They are lying awake at night thinking, what if I had chosen differently? What if I had been brave enough to choose love when it mattered? What if I had not let fear or ego make my decisions for me? This card represents the ultimate crossroads, and they are standing at that same crossroads in their mind over and over again, but now they understand what each path really meant. Now they can see clearly where each choice would have led them. What the cards are revealing is that they feel like they failed some kind of cosmic test. The Lovers is not just about romantic love, it is about union, harmony, alignment with your highest good and your highest values. They had an opportunity to align themselves with something beautiful, something real, something that could have helped them evolve into their best self, and they walked away from it. They chose the easier path, the path of least resistance, the path that did not require them to grow or change or face their shadows. Every time they invoke your energy at night, every time they think about you, they are confronted with this choice again. But now it is not an open choice. It is a closed door. They cannot go back to that crossroads and choose differently. They can only sit with the consequences of the choice they made. And the Lovers card is showing me that this is absolutely eating them alive. They are thinking about you in terms of what could have been, who they could have been if they had chosen you, what kind of life they could be living right now if they had made the brave choice instead of the cowardly one. There is also this element with the Lovers of divine union, of soulmate energy, of two people who are meant to complement each other perfectly. And I am seeing that they are starting to understand that you might have been that for them. Not in some fantasy way, but in a real practical way. You complemented them, you balanced them, you brought out qualities in them they did not even know they had. And they destroyed that union through their own actions. That is a level of loss they are only now beginning to comprehend. The next card I am seeing is Page of Wands. And this is interesting because pages represent messages, new perspectives, youthful energy, and enthusiasm. What this card is showing me is that they are in this phase of wanting to reach out to you, wanting to communicate something to you, wanting to send you some kind of message. The Page of Wands is impulsive, is enthusiastic, is not always thinking through the consequences before acting. I am seeing that at night when they are thinking about you intensely, they are composing messages to you in their mind. They are rehearsing what they would say to you if they had the chance. They are imagining scenarios where they could express their regret, their understanding, their growth. The Page of Wands energy here is very much about wanting to initiate contact, wanting to start a conversation, wanting to tell you about their new perspective on everything that happened. But here's what the cards are also showing me. The Page is the most inexperienced of the court cards. The Page has enthusiasm, but lacks wisdom. And they are grappling with this awareness that even their desire to reach out to you might be coming from an immature place. Are they wanting to contact you because they genuinely have something valuable to offer you? Or are they wanting to contact you because they need relief from their own pain and guilt? The Page of Wands represents that internal battle. What I am seeing is that they have all this fiery energy building up, all these things they want to say to you, all these realizations they want to share, but they are also slowly understanding that you do not owe them an audience. You do not owe them the opportunity to unburden themselves. The Page of Wands is learning a hard lesson here about the difference between selfish communication and authentic communication. They want to tell you they have changed. They want to tell you they understand now. They want to tell you they are sorry. But the mature part of them is starting to question whether that is really about you or whether it is about them trying to feel better about themselves. At night, this internal conflict intensifies. The Page of Wands wants to send that text, make that call, show up at your door. But there is a growing awareness that no message they could send would undo the damage, would erase the past, would give you back what they took from you. So they are stuck with all this energy, all these words, all these feelings, and nowhere to put them except in their own mind, their own heart, their own late night contemplations. Now, the next card that came through is Nine of Swords. And honestly, Pisces, this card is probably the most literal representation of what is actually happening with this person at night. The Nine of Swords is the nightmare card. It is the card of anxiety, insomnia, overwhelming worry, and mental anguish. The traditional imagery shows someone sitting up in bed in the middle of the night with their head in their hands. And that is exactly what this person is experiencing. What the cards are showing me is that this is not just casual thinking about you. This is torment. This is lying awake at 3 in the morning, unable to escape their own thoughts. This is having dreams about you and waking up in a cold sweat. This is anxiety that sits on their chest like a weight, making it hard to breathe when they remember what they lost. The Nine of Swords represents the full psychological impact of their choices catching up with them. Every night, they are being visited by these swords of truth, these piercing realizations about what they did and who they lost. And unlike daytime, when they can distract themselves with work or social activities or whatever else, at night there is nowhere to hide. The Nine of Swords strips away all pretense, all defenses, all the lies they might tell themselves during the day. At night, they are forced to confront the unvarnished truth, and the truth is causing them profound suffering. What I am seeing specifically is that they are plagued by specific memories. Not vague nostalgia, but sharp, detailed memories of moments when they hurt you, moments when they could have chosen differently, moments when they saw the pain in your eyes and did nothing or made it worse. The Nine of Swords is showing me that these memories play on repeat, that they are analyzing every conversation, every argument, every time they let you down, and it is creating this spiral of regret and self-recrimination that they cannot escape. The cards are also revealing that they are experiencing physical symptoms from this mental anguish. The Nine of Swords is not just about psychological pain, it manifests in the body too. They might be having trouble sleeping, they might be losing their appetite, they might be feeling physically ill from the stress and anxiety of losing you. Their body is responding to what their mind knows, that they made a catastrophic mistake and they cannot fix it. What really stands out to me with this Nine of Swords energy is that they are also worried about the future, their future without you. They are lying awake imagining their life going forward, and they cannot see how it will ever be okay again. They cannot imagine finding someone else who will make them feel the way you did. They cannot imagine trusting themselves to not mess things up again. They cannot imagine living with this regret for the rest of their lives. The Nine of Swords is showing me that they are catastrophizing, they are spiraling, they are stuck in worst-case scenario thinking, and it is all centered around you and what they lost. Moving forward, the next card is the World. And this is such a poignant card to appear in this reading because the World represents completion, achievement, reaching the end of a cycle, wholeness. What I am seeing here is that this person is recognizing that you represented their whole world, or at least you represented the possibility of creating a complete, fulfilling world together, and now that world is gone. The World card is showing me that they had everything they needed to be happy right in front of them. You were offering them the whole package, the complete experience of love and partnership and growth, but they were too blind, too immature, too caught up in their own limitations to recognize it. Now they are standing outside of that world, looking in at what could have been, and they are devastated by the completeness of what they lost. What the cards are revealing is that every night when they think about you, they are mourning not just you as a person, but this entire world that existed when you were together. They are mourning the future they could have had, the version of themselves they could have become, the happiness and fulfillment and sense of purpose that came from being with you. The World card represents the totality of that loss. It is not just one thing, it is everything. I am also seeing with the World card that they are recognizing the karmic completion here. The World is the final card of the major arcana. It represents the end of a journey and the lessons learned. And they are understanding that this relationship was a major karmic cycle for them, perhaps the defining relationship of their life so far, and they failed it. They did not learn the lessons when they were supposed to. They did not rise to the occasion. They did not become who they needed to be. And now that cycle is complete, it is done, it is finished, and they are on the outside looking back at all the ways they could have done it differently. The World card is also about integration, about bringing together all aspects of yourself into a harmonious whole. And they are realizing that you helped them do that, or at least tried to. You saw all their parts, the good and the bad, and you still chose to love them. You helped them integrate their shadows and their light. And without you, they are feeling fragmented again, scattered, disconnected from that sense of wholeness they experienced when they were with you. What makes this particularly painful for them is that the World represents achievement and success, and they are seeing your absence as their greatest failure. They might be succeeding in other areas of their life, their career, their finances, their social life, whatever. But none of it means anything because they failed at the thing that mattered most. They failed to keep you. They failed to be worthy of the world you were offering them. The final card in this reading, and this is deeply significant, is Five of Cups. Now, if there is any card that captures the essence of regret and loss, it is this one. The traditional imagery shows a figure cloaked in black, staring down at 3 spilled cups, while 2 full cups stand behind them, ignored. And that is exactly what this person is doing right now. The Five of Cups is showing me that they are completely consumed by what they lost, by those 3 spilled cups which represent you, the relationship, and the future they could have had. They are staring at that loss constantly, fixated on it, unable to look away from it. And the tragedy here, what the Five of Cups always teaches, is that there are still 2 cups standing. There are still other possibilities, other potential sources of happiness, other directions their life could go. But they cannot see those cups. They are so focused on what they lost that they are blind to what they still have or could have. Or every night when they invoke your energy, when they think about you, they are standing in this Five of Cups energy. They are replaying the moment when those cups spilled, when the relationship ended, when you walked away, or when they pushed you away. They are stuck in that moment, unable to move forward, unable to turn around and see the cups that are still standing. The Five of Cups is showing me that their grief is all-consuming right now. What I am seeing specifically is that they are engaging in a lot of what-if thinking. What if they had done this differently? What if they had said that instead? What if they had been more attentive, more appreciative, more present, more worthy? The Five of Cups is the card of rumination, of going over and over the past, trying to figure out where things went wrong, trying to identify the exact moment when everything fell apart. The cards are also showing me that they are crying, literally crying over what they lost. The Five of Cups is associated with tears, with mourning, with genuine emotional pain. This is not just regret in an abstract sense. This is grief. They are grieving you the way you grieve a death, because in many ways, to them, this is a death. You are still alive, you are still out there in the world, but you are dead to them. You are gone from their life, and that is creating a grief that is profound and unrelenting. What stands out to me most with the Five of Cups is that this person knows, they know that this loss was preventable. Those cups did not just fall over on their own. They knocked them over with their own actions. And that is what makes this so much harder to bear. If the relationship had ended due to circumstances beyond their control, they could at least find some comfort in that. But the Five of Cups is showing me that they have to live with the knowledge that they caused this. They created this loss. They are the reason those cups are spilled. At night, this awareness is particularly acute. When it is dark and quiet and there is nothing to distract them, they are forced to sit with the full weight of their responsibility. The Five of Cups does not let them off the hook. It does not give them excuses or justifications. It just shows them the spilled cups, the loss, the grief, and asks them to acknowledge their role in creating it. So Pisces, let me bring all of this together for you. What these 10 cards are revealing is a picture of someone who is experiencing profound regret, who is being tormented by the full understanding of what they lost when they lost you. Every night, they are invoking your energy, not because they are trying to manipulate you or because they have some master plan to win you back, but because they genuinely cannot stop thinking about you. Your presence, even in absence, dominates their thoughts. They are going through a death of their old self, recognizing themselves as the fool they were, admiring the strength you showed that they lacked, accounting for the generosity you offered that they never matched, mourning the choice they made at that crossroads to choose something other than love, wanting desperately to communicate with you, but not knowing if they have the right, suffering through sleepless nights of anxiety and regret, grieving the loss of the whole world you represented, and fixating on those spilled cups that symbolize everything they destroyed. This reading is not telling you what to do with this information. It is not suggesting that you should take them back or give them another chance. That decision is entirely yours, and it should be based on what you want and need, not on their suffering or their regret. What this reading is telling you is that you were valued more than they ever showed you. You were appreciated more than they ever expressed, and your absence has left a void in their life that they are only now beginning to understand. The karma here is that they have to live with their choices. They have to experience the full weight of what it means to lose someone irreplaceable. And while they are going through this painful awakening, you get to move forward. You get to heal. You get to become even more whole and powerful than you were before. You get to take all the love and generosity and strength you poured into them and redirect it toward yourself and toward people who will truly value it. If nothing else, I hope this reading gives you validation. I hope it confirms what you might have suspected, that they do think about you. They do feel regret. They are suffering the consequences of their actions. But more importantly, I hope it reminds you of your own worth, your own power, your own incredible capacity to love and to be strong even in difficult circumstances. You were the Six of Pentacles, the strength, the lovers choosing love. And that is who you will continue to be, with or without them in your life. Take care of yourself, Pisces. Trust that the universe is working everything out exactly as it should, and know that whatever you decide to do with this information, you have the wisdom and the strength to make the right choice for you.